Okay. Okay, you
I'll do it if nobody else really wants to.
okay, so since Kathy has not done before, so okay. I'll give Kathy. Sorry, Elizabeth. uh, hmm. Is it visible?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay.
Is my voice turned on?
Yeah, good.
Okay. The heart of the heart of the transcendent perfection of wisdom. Homage to the Bhagavati Paramita. Thus I have heard. At one time, the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajgir at Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered an absorption on categories of phenomena called perception of the profound. At the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva and great being, beheld the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom and saw that the five aggregates are empty of nature. Then, through the Buddha's power, Venerable Shariputra said to the noble Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva and great being, how should a child of noble family who wishes to practice the profound perfection of wisdom train? This is what he said, and the noble Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva and great being, replied to Venerable Shariputra as follows: O Shariputra, a son of noble family, or a daughter of noble family, who wishes to practice the profound perfection of wisdom, should regard things in this way. They should see the five aggregates to be empty of nature. Form is empty. Emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, sensation, recognition, conditioning factors, and consciousness are emptiness. Therefore, Shariputra, all dharmas are emptiness. They are without characteristics. They are unarisen and unceasing. They are not tainted and not untainted. They are not deficient and not complete. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no sensation, no recognition, no conditioning factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no texture, and no mental consciousness, and no mental objects. There is no I element up to no mind element, and as far as no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance up to no old age and death, no extinction of old age and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since bodhisattvas have no attainment, they rely on and abide by the perfection of wisdom. Since their minds are unobscured, they have no fear. They completely transcend error and reach the ultimate nirvana. All the Buddhists throughout the three times fully awakened to unsurpassed, genuine, and complete enlightenment by the means of the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra that equals the unequaled, the mantra that pacifies all suffering, is not false and should thus be understood as true. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed as follows: Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisoha. Sariputta, a bodhisattva and great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom in this way. Thereupon, the Blessed One arose from that absorption and commended Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva and great being. Excellent, excellent indeed, O son of noble family. That is how it is. That is just how it is. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you have taught, and then even the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Venerable Shariputra and noble Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva and great being, together with the whole assembly and the world of gods, human beings, Asuras, Gandharvas, rejoiced and praised the speech of the Blessed One. This concludes the Mahayana Sutra of the Blessed Mother, the heart of transcendent perfection of wisdom.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. So for today's meditation, we will go back to the basic again. So we'll just try to do the shamatha. Okay. So in order to do that, I think there are really like a lot of things to follow, but we will not go through that. But just to give you a small, like a kind of reminding. So we have to look at two things: the object and then the observer. So in the beginning, we have to really try to focus on the object, and when we are able to focus our mind on the object, which is our so right now we are going to use our breath, so that object, and then as soon as we have some kind of like clear vision of that object, the breath, inhaling and exhaling, then that object has to really comes in our mind, and then it shouldn't be different than an observer. So it has to be the mental object rather than the physical breath. Okay, so try to yeah, it's not that your physical breath is stop and then you're not breathing at that point. Definitely you would be breathing, and then it would be there, but when you look at it, you have to look through the observer or the mind. So basically it is the mind who is perceiving, and then who is having that mental image. So we have to look at that. If you are able to look at that mental image, then I think you are doing two things together. You are aware of yourself as an observer, and then you are aware of the object as well. So this is the uh, basically this is the what do you call, the um, goal of the shamatha. And when I say the goal of the shamatha, shamatha is basically controlling our mind, right? Controlling. So once Dongsa Khyentse Rinpoche said, what do you mean by you have gained the shamatha or like samadhi? So then he said, if you have this control, like if you just if someone tell you, okay, cry, and then you want to cry, then you just cry at that moment. And then if someone tells you when you are really like in a sad mood, and then someone wants you to laugh and smile and so happy at this, and at that moment, then if you have that ability to turn your mind into that mood, then it shows that you have the control over your mind. So you have basically uh, there are two types of shamatha. I think we have discussed that the first four shamatha is the shamatha of like form realm shamatha is controlling our emotion, right? And then the second type is the which is the samadhi of formless realm is the to control our perception, right? So as long as we have not able to control our emotion, that means we have not gained any samadhi at all. But there could be some kind of like one-pointed meditate, one-pointed mind, but that doesn't mean you have gained that samadhi. So we have another type of mind called like Dubhe comes sympathetic ba. So desire realms one-pointed mind, and that is not this not including in the samadhi basically, but that is the very beginning of this samadhi mind. But we should not really mix that with the samadhi mind, because when you have samadhi mind, you have some really good control of your emotion. So that is why you will not get fall into the emotion if you have strong emotion, if you have the samadhi mind. Okay, anyway, so uh, so in order to do that, we have to really like look at our own mind, and then like if we are able to look at the sequence of the mind, when does it when does it change its mode, right? When or there's so many feelings that we feel and experience momentarily, and those are all different feelings and emotions and different experiences. So if we are able to catch those different experiences, then I think we are really close to have some kind of control, to our mind. So that's that is why it becomes important to watch more to the mental object than outer object. Okay, so we will do the again 3 minutes meditation. I don't know how much a round of the breathing meditation we will do, but so first we start maybe I think so yeah, let's start. I mean, and please prepare yourself for that. Okay, so let me set the alarm timer. Okay, so I'll start in 1, 2, and 3. Thank you. Okay, so until yesterday, we cover the presentation of the two truths. So from now on, Chandarakshita will present or the argument that put forward uh, to his philosophy or his understanding of the two truths. So he will try to refute those arguments or those critiques that people, those definitely those philosophers such as the Hindu and even the Buddhism, especially the Chittamatur, are not happy with Chandarakshita because Chandarakshita has really like uh, surpass their philosophy, and they try to refute their philosophy and theory. That's why now he will also get some criticism, and then he has to defend his argument, right? So this is what's going to happen from here. And then later on he will also talk about how effective his his innovative idea of like integrating three Buddhist idea into one in the Madhyamika's frame. He will also talk about that. So and then there will be conclusion of the text. And so I have to make this announcement that we are going to conclude the text in next week, this next week Sunday, because now we are about to finish. I don't think it's a good idea to just make it longer. So since these are really like most of now we have covered the main idea and the main topic of the text, but these are now more lighter topic that we are going to discuss. Okay, so that's why the next Sunday would be the last session for class. I'm sorry because in the our announcement it should be the next after 2 weeks, right? So so one week is a shrink. So maybe then for some it's good, but for some maybe you are expecting. So those who are expecting, I'm sorry. Those who are happy, I'm happy. Okay, so here the first one is in these two stanza number 67 and 68, basically Chandarakshita is what Chandarakshita is trying to say is those doctrine and then philosopher or school that he had tried to refute it, they can be refuted because what they have presented in their philosophy doesn't make sense when it comes to logically analyzed. So that's why their philosophy is not tenable. So this is what it says in the first stanza here. So by following the path of reasoning, logical reasoning, so if we base everything on logical reasoning, then there's no way that their philosophy can stand. So that is why their philosophy, although there are some good things in their philosophy, but the main thing that Chandarakshita has, the main problem that Chandarakshita has is that when they say even there is thing when you analyze. So that's the problem for Shantarakshita, because Shantarakshita is one who is saying that although there are things when you are not analyzing, but as soon as you started to analyze, it will start, losing. You will start losing that phenomena or thing. And this is the nature of the phenomena, every phenomena, and that is the reality of the phenomena. So when it seems to be it appears to be there, but as soon as you started to analyze, you will lose that. So whereas the other philosopher, even the Buddhist, until the Chittamadhuran school, they believe that there is a mind who is truly exists, and then it doesn't matter how much you analyze, it will be there. It will you cannot really break it down, and then you will lose that because it is partless. So that's why Shantarakshita has in the last stanza, Shantarakshita has said, we don't need any base for the we don't need any base to have the samsara and nirvana, because the base itself is empty by itself, right? So that's why Shantarakshita has problem with even the Chittamadhuran's doctrine, although he like some of the Chittamadhuran's doctrine, such as when Chittamadhuran said everything is your own projection. So these things are, he appreciate that. Okay, so in the next stanza, in the stanza number 68, it says, Yodam meta yumeje, kilemeba kaimba, dela nindin dembejang, jiang linka jaminus. So now Shantarakshita is saying, for me, I have nothing to say and no stance to hold, because I don't say there's a thing, or I also not say there's no thing, or like exist, not exist, both or neither both. When it comes to the when it comes to the reality or the reality of the phenomena, so I have no stance or I have no position to hold. So that is why you cannot really throw the bomb and then make it blast, because if I don't have any domain or place to live, then you cannot really destroy anything. So basically here, what this stanza tells us is, as long as you have something to hold in your mind, that means you are not you have not right view. You have no right view. Okay, so basically you shouldn't have anything to be hold in your mind, and even the observer shouldn't be there as a observing. So as soon as you have this kind of sense or feeling that, oh, this this mind is analyzing, and then it has nothing to be analyzed, that is also a problem, because you are not able to see the emptiness of the analyzing mind, or the analyzing mind, or the focusing mind, the watcher who is watching try to see the emptiness. So as long as you have that feeling or that experience, then you have you have not a right view. So that is why the object and then perceiver both has to be gone, and then you will not feel a vacuum, or you will not feel like like space, because there's nothing who is experiencing that spaceness. Like if you have this feeling of, oh, there's a mind who is experiencing, then it means that you have left something to understand as emptiness, observer. But as soon as you see that observer itself is the empty, then there is no way to say that, oh, then it would be like, uh, mm, uh, some kind of infinite, or some kind of like being like a space. Because in order to say that, you need to you have to have an experience, you have to have the perceiver. So since there's no perceiver, then you cannot say that kind of you cannot have that kind of experience, right? So that is the ultimate goal, and that is the we have to use that word, like you use that term, the experience or wisdom, or like gnosis. But it is pity that we have to use that, because otherwise we cannot refer. So just in order to have this dialogue, and then just in order to have make ourselves understand, we use the language. So although the language is a very important thing for us, but when it comes to things like this, it hinders us to really see what's happening, right? So that is the one downfall of the language that we are using in order to understand the emptiness or the reality. Okay. So basically, Chandarakshita is saying, I have nothing to say, I have nothing to think about. That is why, you cannot really refute me and then make any kind of argument with me. Okay. I think these are very famous defense of all Madhyamikas guys. I think it was Nagarjuna who started to say this in the beginning, and then all of his followers, repeated that this, this defense. Okay. And this is a very good shield, and no one can really like go through that shield. Okay, so this it was just a brief, but now Chandarakshita will also present like what's the difference between so we have to understand, like what's the difference when you become the realized being, and then you can see the emptiness, or you can experience the emptiness directly, that emptiness, and then emptiness that we talk about until now, right? Through the, so we by using the logic and reasoning, we come to a conclusion, and then we try to dwell on that that conclusion. So, but still our mind is not like non-conceptual at that point, because we are thinking at that point, right? We are still thinking, although we may think that I'm not thinking, but even thinking that not thinking is a thinking, right? So that's why, what is the difference between the object of these two mind, the Bhumi's realizations, the object, and then our the logical mind object, which the logical mind which kind of understand the emptiness. We call it namdang bitu namdemba tang, namdang mayin bitu namdemba, meaning approximate ultimate reality, and then the actual ultimate reality. Or like the first one can be like resemble ultimate reality and then actual ultimate reality. So whatever we have been talking about and whatever we have been trying to meditate upon, and then we think that this is the ultimate reality, although it seems to us as a ultimate reality, but it is the relative again, because it is the object of thought and it is the subject of word, right? It is expressed by word, and then it is the object of thought. That is why as soon as something is object of thought and then expressed by the word, it becomes the relative truth rather than the ultimate truth. But it is very similar to the ultimate reality. So that is why it is called the approximate reality. So whatever we meditate upon as thinking that this is the ultimate reality, then as far as we have the thinking mind, then we cannot really reach to the ultimate reality. So that's why we need to stop thinking, and then in order to stop thinking, we have to really lose all the objects that we have in our mind. Without having losing the object in our mind, there's no way that we could stop thinking. So these are the two types of emptiness that Shantarakshita will present. Okay, so here tichiri yanda ni tu na ngubu khanda trubame tejin shek namji chunam tamje maje song tambe tundang tumbe chir dilla tini tambe tunshe chas. I'm not so sure about this translation here, which it says, since with the ultimate, this is unattuned, it is referred to as the ultimate. I'm not so sure what it talks about, but in the Tibetan version, it's what it means is that, so until now we talk about the, we try to establish the emptiness, and then we reached where there's no outer phenomena, we lose the outer phenomena, and then we again analyze the analyzer of the mind, and then even we couldn't find where is the mind and then how it looks like, and then when we put that mind into the time frame, then it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it vanishes with the time, right? So, and then we get to, in conclusion, a confirmation. So that conclusion is referred as the approximate ultimate reality, and it is called the ultimate reality, not because it's the real ultimate reality, but it is near and it is really kind of similar to the ultimate reality. That is why we call it ultimate reality. Or for me, so Tamba and Pen. Tamba means usually like the wise, someone who is wise. So I made a wise choice, right? So wise. And then Pen is object, or like, yeah, object. So wise object. Tambe Pen. But usually Tambe Pen and Tendam Demba. So here, the word Tambe referred to the ultimate reality, but again, we have to understand the connotation of the word, not just the denotation of the word, but also we have to think about the connotation of the word itself here. because this thambe carries some another type of meaning as well, just than the ultimate reality. Okay, so usually Thundam Demba, Thuntambe Demba, it is Thuntambe Demba, translated as the ultimate reality. But here, the Pelmakara translation group has also this word Thambe Twenji Demba, also translated as the ultimate reality or just the ultimate. But this is just my opinion that maybe it can be translated in different ways, so that it includes both the denotation and connotation of the word, the term. Okay, anyway, so as soon as we understand that we are talking about the approximate ultimate reality, that's enough for this class, I think. Okay, and so that is the approximate ultimate, or resemble ultimate reality. And now Shandarakshita talks about a present. So if the ultimate reality that we talk about is just the relative truth, and then if it is not the ultimate truth, then what is the ultimate truth, the real ultimate truth, or the actual ultimate truth? Then he said, yanda tuna tubai sonam kunle tedolins. So the ultimate truth is, the actual ultimate truth is something that cannot be expressed by any word and terms, and something that cannot be an object of the conceptual thought. So basically, Chandarakshita is saying, no, I cannot talk about that reality. I cannot. And that is why, when Buddha get enlightened, he had to go back to meditation for one, 7 week, right? Go back to meditation for the 7 week by saying, although I have realized this nature of the phenomena, but it cannot be expressed, and then it cannot be understood by the people around me. So that's why I'll go back to the meditation. And even like Maitreya has shown some kind of empathy towards Buddha Shakyamuni by saying that, Maitreya said, I feel compassion, or I feel sorry to Buddha that he had to use the word and word and then language to teach the emptiness, because it's impossible to teach the emptiness through words and language. So anyway, so this is what basically it means here. Okay, and now more elaborately, Chandarakshita is presenting why it cannot be expressed by word and the language. Jela soba mebe jiri jewa mela so misi dei ngo kabe je dei tsikjang dei tsiki da misi yulme palang gabai jirwa leba yuma ins. So when you analyze something and then you lost everything, it means that by nature is not there, right? By nature is not there. And then when you actualize that nature, then you will not find at all that whatever was there when you are not analyzing. And at that point, you cannot talk about that object that is that has not been there at all. And then you cannot even talk about the opposite of that object, like if I say impermanence, so usually we say impermanence, and impermanence is something that changes all the time, constantly, momentarily, right? So if there is, when we analyze the momentary, then we break it down, we break down the momentary, and then we lost even the moment. So as soon as you lost the moment and then you actualize that moment is not there, then in your mind now there is no moment, and neither this non-existence of the moment, because non-existence of the moment is based based on the moment. So basically, if you have, if there's a no right, then there's no left, right? So this is the really the like using the interdependent logic here. So if there's no impermanence, you cannot talk about the permanence, right? So if there's no birth, you cannot talk about like unborn. And it is because that the nature of the born has never been exist. So you cannot differentiate what is the it is like, how about we talk about the different different between the unicorn and then rabbit horn, unicorn horn and then rabbit horn, right? So if we, although we can, I mean, we may use that, rabbit horn then unicorn horn, but we have no reference. So since we have no reference, then we cannot really talk about the difference between the unicorn horn and then rabbit horn, because both of them are non-existent. They have never been exist, and they have never been exist. So then since they since they have never been exist, we cannot talk about the difference between them. Likewise, when there is no born, then unborn cannot be exist, because unborn is based and then rely on the unborn is the idea that relies on the born or the birth. Okay. Then since there's no way to think about it, then there's no way to talk about that as well by using the language and then word. So then so in that way, basically when you actualize the emptiness, then there's no word, there's no thought. First of all, there's no thought, and then since there's no thought, then there will be no word, and then if you have no word, and you will not have language, and then if you have no language, then you will, there's no way to make any argument. So that's what's happening. Basically, Shantarakshita is saying, when you have actualized the emptiness or the ultimate reality, there's no way that anyone can like refute you, or you can talk about that experience that you are having, or the realization that you have. So that is the ultimate reality. And then he is saying, number tola tena yang kunzup parjur yanda means. But so if that particular thing is the object of the thought, then it becomes the relative truth rather than the ultimate truth. So now he's shifting to say that whatever we have been thinking about, and then whatever we have been discussing, and then whatever we have been studying, about the emptiness that we have in our mind, in our understanding, these are not the real and real emptiness. Although we think this is the real emptiness, but it is not the real emptiness, because in order to in order to actualize the emptiness, you have to really get rid of thought and thought. So as long as you have thought, then you don't have the understanding of the emptiness or ultimate reality. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, so we move
Genla,
on. Yeah, go on.
I guess how does one make that leap from getting to the end of the approximate ultimate to ultimate itself? Meaning that you're conceptualizing almost all the way up, even in the approximate ultimate. You just simply, does that conceptualization just cease and then you're there?
So when you get to that point, where you can even try to like dismantle the observer, then you are really near, kind of in between the conceptual mind and then non-conceptual mind. Kind of you are really like now about to fly. Okay, so it's like you're just jumping, and then you're just staying, and then jumping, and then you fall down. So once you try and try and try, and then you jump, and then once you reach there, then it becomes so like easy for you. And then that when you reach to that non-conceptual point, then that is called the first Bhumi Bodhisattva, which is the joyful, overjoy, right? Overjoy or joyful, Rabdugawa. So overjoy. And it is because that you are experiencing that for the first time. So that is why you are, I wouldn't say excited. Maybe overjoy is okay, because excited is like more of like emotion. But overjoy, gawa. I'm not so sure about the the English term or joy, but gawa. When I hear that word gawa, it has the connotation of not even some like most of the time people like me, when I say I'm ngape gasong, means I have that strong feeling or emotion. But those bodhisattva who are raptu gawa, like really happy, extremely overjoyed, they have no that kind of emotion. They don't have that kind of emotion. So yeah, I think when you get to that point, and then you are like just try to jumping, and so that's why so first we analyze, and then we try to just settle and try to dwell at that state, right? So dwelling is important, because when you dwell, you are trying to fly towards the non-conceptual. Like if you are just analyzing, then you are not really like doing anything, try to fly. You are just attached. You are not trying to like put your wings out and then try to fly. You're just keeping your wings together, and then you're just holding it, if you are just analyzing. So that's why just dwelling, when you get to that point, then just like what you call sit and then dwell, and don't do anything, don't put any effort, but don't lose the awareness. So that's
Thank you, Genla.
okay. Okay, so now move on next. So now the objections, the critics coming, okay? The critics are coming. So here, there are three arguments put forward for the Chandarakshita. So the first one is, it says, "Wonan dini tojurpe thi rangshin ngunsum chir mike namjang ngunamji ngubudinda jimitos." So here, the critics, what critics is saying is that, so if the nature of the phenomena is empty by is itself, then like why we people we are not seeing that? I mean, we should be seeing, because we have this ability to see things, and we have this the valid cognition. So why we are not seeing, and then only few of you are seeing that? So what happened? Uh, uh, like so this is the first kind of the argument, and then Shandarakshita says, "Mahin thome juji dang ngobo ta wangche ba techi soja thamji ngusum tokor mi juros." It is because that most of the sentient beings are diluted uh, from the very limitless of time. So they are diluted, and then they are not being able to see what is the real thing happening, or what is the real. So basically sentient beings are ignorant of what is to see the reality. Okay, so this one is quite easy to understand. But second one, the second one is slightly tough. Like so in the second argument, it says, so here Shandarakshita said, I cannot express the ultimate reality, and then I cannot think of ultimate reality. So now the argument is, if you cannot really express, and then if you cannot think of the reality, then who would understand that reality? How would you like teach the reality, and then who would understand that reality, the ultimate reality? There's no way to understand the reality. So how come that you come to realize that ultimate reality? So this is the argument. Okay, this second type of argument. So Shandarakshita is saying, yes, you are right. So in the beginning, it seems that you will not, there's no way to understand it, because our mind is so conceptual that without having conceptual without having this conceptual mind, it seems to for us it seems that there's no way that perceive and then cognize the object. But so first we use the logic and the reasoning, and then we establish the emptiness of the phenomena, and then emptiness of the observer, and then we meditate on that, and then we habituate on that, and then gradually then we move on to the non-conceptual mind. And then so at that point, when you get to the non-conceptual mind, then you will be called Arya Sattva, or like Arya Bhumi. Then at that point you have actualized the emptiness. So in that way you can realize the ultimate reality. So this is a very gradual path. So first we analyze and we try to understand, and then we meditate, and then even during the meditation we have the analytical meditation, and then one-pointed meditation, dwelling meditation, and then through that two types of meditation we habituate, and then we basically we train our mind to see the reality. We are not really like doing anything to the object, but we are training our mind to see how the object is, right? So we train our mind, and then through that we can see the reality. Okay. So the third argument for this is this one is like quite quite what do we call the usual one, where some would say, if there is like this is very common one, so if there's no like if there's no true true existence, then there's no karma, like there's no like the good and bad, and there's no nirvana, and there's no samsara. So why do we do these things? Why do we like even why do we put effort to meditate and then practice if there's nothing, right? If there's nothing to exist. So then here what the critics is saying is, if nothing is exist ultimately, and then if you analyze, when you analyze, everything will be lost, and then why are you just making this argument? Because there's no point of making any argument, because the argument itself is not exist. So you are not right. There's no argument, then you have not refuted me. So basically we have not argued at all. So so this is what the critic is saying. Okay. And then Shandarakshita is saying, shungi chibi chidagi chujin mangnik badam pimechiba bardala sabar jibe ngunamla dubarje dubdan dubar dube ngubudi malu yanda jubar jurus. So I think this this stanza is very important, and so with this stanza we know that Shandarakshita is not following the Chandakriti's way of debating. With this stanza, we understand that Shandarakshita follow the Bhavavivika's tradition of the argument. So basically, the Chandakriti's way of making argument in terms of the Madhyamikans, logic, then Chandakriti only used the reduction, reduction to the absurdity. Okay, reduction to the absurdity. So that is the format of Chandakriti's way of making argument. And then when Chandakriti make argument, he would not involve himself in that argument. He would not involve himself in that argument, but he would just see, okay, what this person is saying. If he said this and that, okay, the cow is white, and then the cow has a tail, and then things that said, okay, so the cow is white and then cow has a tail. So in that, if that is the case, according to you, the cow is a colored because it is a white. So here, when Chandrakirti put that argument to the other person, he has no interest in the cow white and the tail. He is just listening to the person and then try to understand what he is saying, and then try to see if he's conflicting with himself, and then using that reason to tell him that he is contradicting. And then he will say, if you say the cow is white, then then the cow should be colored because it is a white, right? So it doesn't mean that Chandrakirti is really like saying that cow is the cow is color, but he is just listening to the person, and then he is like using that absurdity just by listening to that person. So that is how Chandrakirti's the logic works for the Madhyamika, especially not all types of the argument, okay, especially in the Madhyamika when it comes to the establishing the emptiness. Okay, so Madhyamikan logic. But for Chandrakshita, it's slightly different than different from that. So when Chandrakshita is arguing with someone and try to establish the emptiness, then what he does is, when he say, okay, the cow, right, the cow, white, and then tail. So this cow is not particular cow that he is thinking of, or this cow is not a particular cow that the other person is thinking of, but it's a general cow that we generally have an idea of a cow, right? So that cow, so bring that cow in, and then talking about the color and then tail. And then, so if you say the cow is white and it has a tail, then again, the argument would be the same, but the understanding is slightly different, right? The understanding is slightly different because here Chandrakshita is involving himself in the argument because he is kind of agreeing that there is a cow in a general, the idea of a cow in general sense, right? General sense. In general sense, there's a cow and then white and then tail and 4 legs, let's say. But it's not a cow that is in the America. It's not cow that is in the India or Nepal or Tibet, anywhere. But it's just a general. Okay, so here when Chandrakshita is saying, when I am saying, all the phenomena are not truly exist. So when I say that, then that phenomena that we are talking about, I'm not really talking about a particular phenomena that I'm thinking about, which is emptiness of itself, but I'm just talking about a general phenomena that we all have, the idea, the perception of the general phenomena. And then that phenomena, if we analyze, then we will lose that phenomena. So in that way, the argument works because, in general, we have this idea of the hand and then screen, computer, laptop, or whatever the gadget. In general, we have this idea, right? And then so that gadget is not truly exist because when you analyze, you will not find that. So this is what I mean when I say, when I put that argument to you, and then it works, then you understand that. So in that way, this is how the argument works, although the argument is not truly exist, and then it not truly exist, but in general sense it works, like it works. Okay, so especially here when Chandarakshita says Tedaramina Shimandu Laso Leni Chigedap. So here this again this the two line also shows Chandarakshita kind of not completely, but not very explicitly, but kind of implicitly saying that if you have not understanding of this kind of, the and if you don't have this kind of understanding, then there's no way to no way to get out of this argument. Like, basically Chandarakshita is the way Chandarakshita answered the argument is that, when you put subject, predicate, and then reason, right? So the subject, predicate, and then reason, they are just a general thing. Like, let's say if I say my hand is not truly exists, my hand is subject, not truly exists is the predicate, and then because let's say it's independent, if I say that independent is the reason, right? Or it is neither one or nor multiple. So that is the reason. So when I say my hand not truly existent, and because it is neither one nor multiple, then this argument, the structure of the argument, and then the subject, predicate, and then reason of the argument, all of them are a general idea. When I say my hand is a very general idea, because I'm not talking about my hand that I see, the way I perceive it, but we all see my hand together right now. So that's a very general, right? General hand. And then when I say not truly exist, this is again, I'm not really particularly putting one idea and then talking about that idea, but not truly existence as a general idea. And then neither one and nor many, that's again a general idea of not being there as a one and then multiple. So so both the opposition and then making one who is argument, putting the argument, both agrees on the three, the structure of the argument, and then subject, predicate, and then reason of the argument. So in that way, it is possible to have that kind of argument. Otherwise, if we don't have this kind of argument, then there's no way that you can you can defend the critique that defend the criticism that put forward. So this is what it says in this 2 lines. And then I think this is kind of implicitly telling Chandakriti and then like Buddha Palita that you are in trouble. Okay, so we stop here today. Yeah, we have a few more minutes. If you have any question, I can answer.
If the general doesn't apply to the specific, why do we even propose the general? If I were to say a horse is an animal that has 4 legs.
Mhm.
So I should be able to find a particular horse and see that it has 4 legs. I mean, there may be like a 1 in a million chance a horse is born with 5 legs. But generally speaking, horses
Mhm.
have 4 legs.
Yeah. So when you say horse horse is an animal which has 4 legs, right? So that horse, if you are keeping in your mind a particular horse, then I can just say I don't know which horse are you talking about. Then there's no further argument. You have to now prove me which horse are you talking about. If you are not
Okay, a horse that I own that is in my backyard.
I haven't seen that. So that way, the argument will not go further.
Okay, let's say Shanta Rashida back in those times has a telephone. Let's just imagine back in those times, Shanta Rashida has a mobile phone.
Okay.
He argued, and then mobile phone generally is something that you can put down a number and you call somebody.
Yeah.
And so if you want to apply that theory, so point out a particular mobile phone, and then I say, wow, Shanta Rashida, what about your mobile phone? Can you apply your argument to your mobile phone?
Definitely. Then yes, definitely. That because now you see the Genla Rakshita's mobile phone, and then Genla Rakshita has a mobile phone. So both of you have agree on the mobile phone.
Yeah.
So the agreement is there. So then you can argue, make the argument. Yes.
So in that case, then applying the argument from the critique, then if there's no mobile phone, then you would not mind if I just take your mobile phone and then just make it mine because there's no mobile phone. I'm not stealing something that is
not. Yeah. So I'm talking about this because I just wanted to like let you know, because there are some of you who have studied the Chandakriti before, and you might have some confusion. That's why I was talking about this general and then the specific
I
one.
think Chandakriti has a very elegant answer to this, but we are talking about Shanta Rashida, so
yeah. So Shanta Rakshita would say, I don't want to involve, like, let's say, I am the opposition of the Shanta, let's say Chandakirti, okay, Chandakirti. So when I say, oh, I think mobile is there because I have this mobile. If I say that, then he doesn't have to see the mobile. He would say, okay, if you have a mobile, then like, is it a black or is it a white or what? What kind of mobile you have? Then I can say it is a black, the black one. Then so Shanta Rakshita doesn't have the idea of a mobile in his head in order to argue with me. As soon as Shanta Rakshita has understand that I'm talking about a mobile, and then that is some kind of I'm talking about a feature of a mobile, then he can make argument to me, and just by showing the confliction and absurdity within myself.
As soon as a word is said and a word is uttered, there is an image in our head. Otherwise, we cannot say that word. I mean, that is the whole point of a Chitta mantra. The mind and the object, they are like all in our mind. So we cannot say any words that we have no experience and no image. I mean, he may not have the image. He may argue that I do not have an image of a specific mobile, but he has to have an image of a general mobile.
No.
Otherwise, how does he even talk about mobile?
No, I don't think, because when he say mobile is not truly exist, mobile is not exist, then as soon as he say not exist, he lost the mobile.
Well, at that point, when we are talking about mobile not assist, that is just intellectual. That is still the idea that mobile not assist in quotation. So at that point, the mobile doesn't just blank. If the mobile just blank out and there's no words, Chandra Rashida is not talking. He's just sitting there meditating. But if he's talking, there is an image.
Right. Let me tell you one story, okay? Let me tell you one story of, I think it was Chandra Komi. I'm not so sure. It was, I think, kind of like 50%, it was Chandra Komi. Chandra Komi was one of the great guy who debate with Chandrakriti for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
6 years. 6 years, and then at the end of the day, Chandra Komi is Chittamatharan's guy, okay, Chittamatharan guy, and then he was supported by Chandasik, Avalokiteshvara, and Chandrakriti was supported by Manjushri. So they were having debate for 6 years. Okay, 6 years. And they were, Chandrakriti was really confused, but we will not go through that debate. But one time, Chandra Komi was invited by a king on a function, and so king showed lots of like this dance and everything. And then at the end of the function, so then he was when this function was happening, he was laughing, and he was talking, and then at the end of the function, the king asked, "Did you enjoy?" Then Chandra Komi replied, "How can I just invest my time to look at this unworthy thing? I have other things to do." Like if someone is like having a fire on his head, do you think he's enjoyed the movie or like this function or dance? No.
Yeah, I see your point, but what does
really
it
like
have to
wish
do with
to.
what we were just discussing?
This discussion is, when Chandrakriti making argument, he wouldn't think about the mobile because he has many other things to do. Although he reply, but he may not think about the mobile.
How do you know that Chandrakriti wasn't thinking about mobile when he was talking about mobile? Chandrakriti not thinking about
This
chariot
is what he
when
said.
was
I mean, this is
giving
what
the
he said.
7-point analysis of chariot?
This is what he said. That is why
Who said
Chandrakriti and Bhava Viveka has argument, disagreement. So Bhava Viveka say, when I talk about the mobile, I think about the mobile. Chandrakriti said, no, I don't think about the mobile. That is the main argument, disagreement of the Chandrakriti and then Bhava Viveka.
Well, as far as I understand, the argument between the consequential school and the autonomy school is that the consequential school is saying that because there's no inherent existence of phenomena, which is actually right up the alley of Chitta Mantra, that when we each think about something, we think about it in our own image. So when Genla think about a mobile and I think about a mobile, we may use the word mobile, but we each have a different idea of what a mobile is. And then when we start arguing about it, we are not really arguing about the same thing. So that's what I understood is the gist of the dispute about the consequential method and the autonomous method. And
no, you just said it.
It is not that Chandrakriti has no image of a mobile in his mind. No. That's not the point.
No, really, when Chandrakriti look at this mobile, I don't think he see this mobile as a like what do you call this, square? It is square, right? It's square or what? He wouldn't see. So he wouldn't see this as a rectangle and then black. I think he will definitely see something else. He definitely see something else than the rectangle, and then
Oh, if you say so, Genla, I can't argue with that. I'm not in charge of this case, so I can't argue
Okay.
with that.
So let me give you one example. Let me give you example. So we have like do's and don'ts on table when you eat, right? So in Asia, we don't mind if you put your finger on the nose. No one see putting your finger in your nose is like whack. No. Okay. You can clean your nose while you're eating. It's okay. But what if I do these things on here in America? How would you see that? Same thing, but different view.
Yes, precisely. That's the point.
So
Looking at the same thing,
mobile,
view. So
but different view.
yeah. So if we don't have agreement on the meaning of something or a word, how do we argue about it? How do we have a discussion about it? That's the dispute between those two schools. It is not that there is not a notion of what that thing is in their respective mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
okay, so I'll give you another example. So let's say I have a child, and I have a young child, and then he just had a nightmare. Okay, he just had nightmare, and then he woke up, and then he's in panic. So I asked him, what happened to you? Then he started to tell these things, and then he's like kind of having this the hallucination at that point. Then how would I tell him, like, okay, when I tell him, okay, so don't worry, your dream is just this is just a dream, don't worry. Really, I'm thinking about the dream. Do I think that the dream can do I think about his dream? Really, I don't think.
You would not know what his dream is, but he knows what his dream is.
I'm telling him just because of his word.
Yes.
But I don't have any idea what is his dream.
Yes.
Still, I can argue with him and tell him. Likewise, Chandrakirti does. So when Chandrakirti look at things mobile, he looks at like very what you call dream like mobile. But
okay.
we see as a real thing.
Shantarashita talks about all phenomena. I mean, generally, we can be more general than saying all phenomena.
Yeah. I think Shantarakshita will agree with you. I think the way Shantarakshita will agree with you by saying, okay, you have to have like at least the mobile in your mind. And even Baba Viveka would say that same thing. That is why Baba Viveka and Chandrakirti has this dispute. Not I wouldn't say dispute, but the disagreement.
It's okay. Let's just stop this here. I don't think I'm getting anywhere with it. Well, thank you, Genla.
Okay. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, it was an interesting discussion. But seeing that we're getting near the end and there have been many difficult points, I was wondering if we could get a copy of your PowerPoint presentation to study further and try to answer these questions.
So if this what the document that I'm using, if it helps, then definitely I will share with you. But it is just the root text. Okay, these are just root text that I put the outlines in between.
I've found them helpful in just looking at them, and I think if I can study them further, and the others perhaps also.
Yeah, so definitely, I will share it with the Gaudi, and then he will just send it to you guys. But I have to add some more few more of the upcoming classes. So I'll add that, and then I'll just send it to you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Saket and then Sakitashin will send to you, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, so we will dedicate again, so pray for your liberation and then pray for the liberation of all sentient beings and especially who are in needs, okay. Sunam di tamje sibani, tonam nipe, tonam pamjine, chegana chimbo nonto. Sibe chole do show, jambalbo, chedra chimbada, kundu sambo, tayan dishende, tada kunji chizonda. Gewade da tamje rabdo, chanju simjo rumbo chimaki, konam chichi, gewani bame. Kone kondo pilwasho. Thank you and have a very good night. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
It was
Thank
wonderful.
you, Genla. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Thank you, Kimberla.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.